So now that my boyfriend Kobe and I are officially moving into a brand new apartment in just a few weeks, it is time for us to partake in a most sacred act. And that is a good old IKEA shopping experience. That's right, Kobe and I are going to be walking through IKEA today, and I would like to invite you to come with us. I'm very excited for this because it's been years since I've even been inside an IKEA, and I have definitely never done the whole shop with a boyfriend at IKEA. So this is a huge milestone for Kobe and I, to say the least. And today we're going into IKEA with a very specific mission, and that is to find a closet for our new apartment, because in case you missed last week's video, which I highly recommend you watch because it was basically an episode of HGTV's House Hunters, if I do say so myself. But if you saw this video, you know that the one downside to this brand new apartment that we're moving into is a very limited amount of closet space. So we're going to IKEA to see if we can find a solution for this closet conundrum. And of course, we're gonna look at all the pretty things and see if we want to buy any of those pretty things as well. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Steffi, and I'm the creator of the interior style blog, Moda Misfit, as well as the online course, Small Apartment Styling School, and you're watching Living Pretty, the place for apartment styling tips. So come along with us on our little IKEA excursion. So, to give a sense of order to an otherwise chaotic subject matter, I love you IKEA, but you're chaotic. I'm dividing this IKEA trip video into 3 sections: the showrooms, pretty things, and storage. I'm just gonna point out the things I liked, the things you might like if you're in the process of shopping for decor, and anything that might come in handy in a small apartment. So let's start with the showrooms. So the main thing I'm delighted to report about IKEA's current showrooms is they really seem to be embracing a bit of a dark decor vibe, with even just a hint of maximalism, just a whisper of maximalism. Which is interesting because IKEA is famous for their white, light, airy minimalism. So I thought it was fun to see a darker, moodier aesthetic this time around. So my fellow dark decor lovers, if you're looking for budget-friendly decor, best get thee to IKEA. I also really loved this particular kitchen. IKEA was definitely doing a Joanna Gaines fixer-upper aesthetic in this one, which I'm here for because resistance to Joanna Gaines is futile, and I honestly just love this vibe. I know we can't do anything like this with our kitchen being in an apartment, but I love living vicariously through an IKEA showroom. Who doesn't? And then, of course, if I see a couch in need with its decorative pillow arrangement desecrated in such an offensive way, I can't help but flip into stylist mode and remedy the situation. Much better. Moda Misfit to the rescue. You're welcome, IKEA. So those were the highlights from the showrooms. Now allow me to show you all the pretty things that caught my eye. As usual, IKEA's faux plant game was on fire. A lot of people ask me where to find faux plants and flowers that don't look cheap and plasticky, and my #1 answer used to be Pier 1, but now that all their stores are tragically closed, IKEA is a great option. IKEA and TJ Maxx actually have great faux florals. And in case you're wondering, yes, I am a huge advocate for fake plants and flowers as an alternative to real ones. If you have a cat who likes to munch on green things, or you're simply not in the mood to experience plant death in your apartment all the time, like me, trust me, go faux. There's nothing wrong with it. I also wanted to point out this coffee and side table combo as an example of how you can sometimes tie budget-friendly IKEA pieces in with a more expensive piece to create cohesiveness in a space. Here's what I mean. When I saw this coffee and side table, I immediately thought of one of my small apartment styling school students, Simi, who recently ordered this 4-post bed frame from CB2. So pretty, right? I can't wait to see what it looks like in her apartment. And if you're watching this right now, Simi, check out these IKEA pieces. If Simi wants to tie the look of her bed frame into other areas of her apartment, she could get these at a much more affordable price than if she found similar ones at CB2. And there were quite a few more pretty things that caught my eye on this IKEA trip, like this black globe that you can read all kinds of metaphors into. I'll spare you the thesis paper that's brewing in my head about the various meanings we could read into the idea of a pitch black globe, so I'll leave it at this. It'd be a cool dark decor piece. There was also this super dignified leather armchair that I would feel like such a gentleman sitting in. There was some moody, foggy wall art, which I'm always a sucker for. These botanical wall art pieces that would be so cute in a kitchen. And this vintage style chandelier. I will never resist the sparkle of a pretty chandelier. I also love a good black and white map of New York, and this one is especially cool. It would make such a bold and graphic statement on a wall. This is my old stomping ground from when I lived there, by the way. Aw. I was also pretty enamored with this boho throw pillow, especially paired with these orange ones. Amid the rainbow of decorative pillows IKEA has to offer, these black and white boho patterns were my favorite. And then there's lighting, which I'd argue is your most important tool when styling a space. Gotta set that moody ambiance, you know? I loved this industrial boy, this glam boy, and this mushroom boy. These were my favorite little light boys of the bunch. Kobe and I think we might go back and get a couple of these glam ones. And I also loved this mid-century style floor lamp. I could totally see this in Don Draper's office on Mad Men. And finally, to close out the pretty things category of this video, here are some of my favorite pieces of wall art we saw. Okay, quick little stretch break because IKEA likes to punish our bones, and now on to storage. So, like I said at the top of the video, our main quest was to find a closet to put in this spot in our new apartment. But before we get to that, we'll do some storage side quests first. First off, I loved this movable island to give a kitchen more storage and prep space. This won't work in our kitchen, but if you have a kitchen that's begging for an island, you might want to consider something like this. We were also casually looking for additional storage to line this hallway area with. Credenzas, TV stands, anything that was on the long side that will not only give us some much needed storage, but will also add visual interest to this huge amount of wall space. We're also going to need a couple matching nightstands, which we don't currently have in the studio apartment. Didn't really see anything I wanted at IKEA except maybe this one. If I replaced the drawer knobs with pretty ones from Anthropologie or Etsy, maybe I could elevate it a bit. We'll see. And finally, it's time for the main quest of finding a closet for this spot in the apartment. As I pointed out in last week's apartment search video, the only closet space in the new apartment is these two little babies in the bedroom and the laundry closet. No actual bedroom closet to be found. So this is why we're turning to IKEA to help us. And here are the closets we looked at. We liked the Brimnes closet. not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, so don't quote me. It would have given us a good amount of additional closet space, and we liked the dark color. Ultimately, it came in second place in terms of actually picking one. Most of the closets we saw, unfortunately, did not look or feel great. They definitely had that sort of flimsy, cheap, perfect for a dorm room feel, and we want the closet we get to, yes, be inexpensive, but not feel like it could be knocked over by a gust of wind. There really was only one closet that fit the bill for what we wanted, and that was the Idana's closet. Again, not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. It felt solid, sturdy, not super cheap, and the vertical panel look was actually pretty stylish. So at this point, we're about 95% sure we're gonna go back and get this one. The brown one we want is currently out of stock, so we're waiting a little bit for that. And if it doesn't get restocked by the time we need it, we're thinking we'll go ahead and order the white version. And with that, we emerged from the IKEA labyrinth victorious, having accomplished our main quest: to find a much-needed closet for our new apartment. And it didn't hurt that we got to see a bunch of pretty things and eat some meatballs. Yep, 'twas a victorious IKEA quest indeed. Whew! We did it! We made it through IKEA, and we're still in one piece, and we're still together. So now that our relationship has passed this monumental test, we are gonna go home, we're gonna drink some brandy, and just cuddle on the couch for a little bit, because if you've been to IKEA, you know what this feeling is like. It's like a day at Disneyland. You've been on your feet all day, you've been overstimulated, and you've been surrounded by screaming children. Oh boy, I am looking IKEA haggard. I feel like we've really just gone through something. That's IKEA for you. And remember, your apartment is destined to be pretty, and you are pretty powerful.